That would be interesting to figure out, that's for sure. All right. There's that beautiful screen we love so much. All right, let's go take a look at. Want to start with building a PERT CPM chart this morning. So we're going to do this twice. First, we're going to do it. So by the way, this is part of your homework. So it might be a good idea for you to do this along with me, unless you want the practice of doing it again, which is also awesome. And then after we're done with this, we will brainstorm, game storm. We will come up with the starting of a fictitious project, and we'll build a PERT CPM for the first few steps of that project. Sound like a plan? Okay, so that's what we have planned, and then we can go over some other stuff as well. So let's get started. So in chapter 3, we're given this information on personal trainer. You know, we can read through, you know, what it is. You know, you're enjoying your job as a student intern at personal trainer. Last week, Susan asked you to help her plan the new information system project. Susan knows that you have completed several information systems courses at the local college and that you have studied project management tools and techniques. So specifically, she wants you to get ready for the next set of systems development tasks, which will be requirements modeling for the new system. Yesterday, Susan called you into her office to discuss the specific tasks she wants you to perform. After meeting with Susan, you sit down and you review your notes. Notes. So pretty important that we go into meetings with either a way to take notes or a way to record the meeting so we can go back, right? I personally think that in college and high school, that's where you learn to take good notes. You know, for me, when I came to class, I would do my best to take impeccable notes, and I also recorded, you know, the class. And the reason that was a lot of times what I found is by taking notes and using all of my senses, so, you know, not only sitting there listening, which is hard enough today as it is, you know, at least for me it is, you know, because my mind starts going with, oh, well, I got to do this and I got to do that, or, you know, I'm thinking about this challenge with someone or whatever the case may be. So taking notes kept me focused. And what I found is I had to do very little study for tests, quizzes, and exams because, you know, I had those notes and it just suddenly stuck. So the older I get, the less it seems to stick, though. So I guess I need to take more notes. So she wants you to treat the set of tasks as a project and use project management skills to plan the task. So here's what she suggested to you as a work breakdown structure, including the duration she estimated for each task. So we have some tasks there. What we're going to do is we're going to put those starting tasks into a PERT CPM chart, and we're going to determine the total number of days it takes. Okay. Now remember, as we do this, one of the things we talked about is the day one task ends, we need to wait for the next day to start the task, right? Now, if we were doing this in a real world situation, we're going to find the number of days that the project takes. Okay. But we also have to be reminded of a few things. Realistically, you know, does a person work a full person day? So we'd call a full person day an 8-hour shift, you know. So as we look at this, we really want to analyze, okay, how many real days is it going to take? Does that make sense? Okay. And then also in the real world, we need to look at weekends. We need to look at people's vacation, right? So, you know, a task may only take 5 days, but it's during that time when someone's going to go on vacation. So it may turn into a 10-day task. Does that make sense? So what I would suggest is opening up Excel. And does anybody have the book? Okay, so in the book, can you find an example of what a task block looks like? So it'll be in chapter 3, okay? And we're looking for the diagram. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a master task block on my Excel spreadsheet right here. Make it a little bigger so y'all can see it. Okay, and I'm going to put it down here because then I can copy and paste it. So the first thing, if I remember correctly, is we're going to have a task ID. Okay, so what it is we're going to call the task. Is that correct? Okay, what's in the box over here?
Start day/date.
Start day,
Yeah.
or date. We're going to use days. Okay. So finish day. What else do we have?
Well, it says that box is task ID, where you put task ID, task ID.
Okay, task ID, task name, duration. Okay, so let me go in. And we'll need some room for these items too. Would you agree? Now, so start day, finish day. Okay. This, let's just stick with the colors in the box. What color is the task name? Sort of bluish. Okay, so we got bluish. What about a start day?
Mustard yellow.
Mustard yellow. Okay. Finish day?
Like a vanilla.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Task ID?
Like a faded peach color.
Faded peach. Woo! Now you're becoming. All right. That looks close enough.
Yeah.
And
It's closer. Yeah. Light red. Yeah.
a light red. That looks good. Okay. Let me go ahead and put some borders around this. And I'll go be real creative. I'll put a thick border around it. So now I have a good start. Would we agree? Excuse me. Now, as we do this, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Okay. And I'll bring it up to somewhere around the top. I'm not going to bring it all the way to the top because if I have subsequent tasks that are concurrent or sequential, we'll do those. Okay. So there we have that. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller just so we can see it. Can everybody see that okay? Sort of, kind of? Okay. So let's go back to the text and see what Susan recommended. So it says, first, you need to meet with fitness center managers at other personal trainer locations, and that's going to take 5 days. So what do we want to call our first task? We need to be more specific. Someone needs to be able to see this and know what we're doing. So meetings is fine, but meet with who? Okay. So we can say meet with center managers. And I'll go ahead and shorten that with the old W/. Okay. Does that look good? Start day. What's the start day going to be for our very first task? Day 1. That first great day of the project. What's our finish day going to be? 5? Okay. Let's make sure of that. It's going to take 5 days, right? So here's where the fingers come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 5th day. Task ID. We'll keep this simple, okay? And we'll call it 1.0. Now, the reason I'm calling it 1.0 is because we know that most likely, you know, as we create an overview chart, we're going to be able to explode some of these tasks into subtasks, right? So this is like writing a bill in Congress. You know, go to section, you know, 27.5.6.23.223b, right? Read that. So what's our duration?
5 days.
5 days. So I'm good with that. Okay, now remember we need a couple arrows. So what I like to do when I start is I'll go into the Insert tab. And I'll find my drawing tools. Shapes. Grab the little, and now I'll modify this area. So I'll format the shape. I'm going to do a solid color. I need 2 of these. I need one that is black. I'm going to increase the width, maybe to 2 point. That looks good. Maybe I'll go to 4 point. 4 point looks better. Okay. So I have my little shape there that I can copy. I'm going to go ahead and copy it again. I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to right click on it, format the shape. And what other arrow color did I need?
Red.
Red. So what does red represent? Anybody remember? Critical path. So I'll just remind myself of that. And we can call this the alternate path. Or okay, so we have the first one. Let's go in and see what Susan said the second task was. We got to read these carefully. Okay, so it says after these meetings, you can conduct a series of interviews. So are we going to be able to do these interviews concurrently? Okay, when are we going to be able to do them? After the meetings. Pretty simple. Not asking tough questions here. So I'll go ahead and grab my block again. I'll copy it and I'll paste it in to the right. And what should we call this task? Help me out here, folks. It says right here, pretty obvious. After these meetings, you can conduct a series of interviews. So what are we doing with the interviews? Yep, conduct interviews. So it's an action, yeah? See the action words? Meet, conduct, do. Okay. So conduct interviews. What is our start day here? 6. What was our duration?
5 days.
5 days. So what is our finish day? Here's where we get into a question. Some said 10, some said to 11. Here's where the fingers come in. We're going to start it on the 6th day. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Task ID? How about 2.0? Since there's no other task, what do we know? Which arrow should we use?
Black or red?
Black or red? How many people say black?
It's red.
It's red. He's going to go with red. I would agree. I'm going to copy that red arrow. I'm going to move it up here and paste it into place. Let's go back to our requirements and see what we have. When the interviews are completed, 2 tasks can begin at the same time. So these tasks are going to be what? Concurrent. Very good. You can review company records 3 days and observe business operations 8 days. So I'm going to need 2 of these boxes. And I know that these two boxes can be done at same time. So there's my same time boxes. What was one of the tasks?
Observe operations.
Observe operations. Okay. So let's go look at what it said for observe operations. Observe business operations, 8 days. So that duration is going to be 8. And the other tasks, I'm going to go ahead and call this observe bus operations, business operations. And the other one was review company records, 3 days. Review company records. Duration 3 days. Okay, what's my start day for both of these tasks? 11. So I'll fill that in. All right, somebody give me the finish day for observe business operations. I got 17 or 18. Let's do fingers. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. How about review company records? 13, exactly. Let's give those task IDs. We'll give them task IDs in the order that they were listed in our requirements. So the first one was review company records. So I'm going to make that a task 3003. And I'm going to make this task 4.0, 3.0. My bad. There we go. Now, right now, we'll leave those right where they are. We'll see that we may move those here in a minute. Okay. So now the question comes up. We're back to the needing arrows. Which one is our critical path and why?
Company records was listed first.
Nope. It was a good try. You had a 50-50 chance. It's actually business operations. Why? Because the task lasts longer, right? So even though we can complete the review of company records, we can't move forward with the subsequent task because both of these tasks have to be done at the same time. So I'm going to grab my red critical path. I'm going to paste it into place. And then I'll grab my alternate path. I'll paste it into place. This is looking good. All right, let's see what the next task is. So it says when interviews are complete, we've done these two tasks. When you have reviewed the records and observed the business operations. So not until then can we do the next tasks. Then you can analyze the Bumblebee accounting software and study a sample of sales and billing transactions. So we have how many tasks? And they can be done when? Concurrently post both of the previous tasks, right? All right, so I'll go back. I will grab my magic tax. Oh, no wonder I'm thinking taxes today. I will paste those in. Cool. And I'm ready to go. So the first task listed, reviewed, you can analyze Bumblebee accounting software. So we'll say analyze Bumblebee. And the second one is we can study a sample of sales and billing records. Study sales whack billing records. I'll go grab some task durations for us. It said that studying Bumblebee accounting software will take 5 days. Studying the transactions, 2, or analyzing Bumblebee, 5 days. Studying 2. So analyze Bumblebee, duration is 5. Study records, 2. What is my start day for both of these tasks, folks? What's that? 19? I like 19. Day 19, we'll start both of these tasks. In which case, someone give me the ending finish day for Bumblebee. 23. I'm digging it. Very good job. Very good job. How about for studying sales billing records? 20. Which is going to be my critical path? Analyze Bumblebee. So I'll copy that. Copy that. Roger, Roger. I'll paste that in. I'll copy my black arrow. I'll paste it in. Perfection. Okay, maybe not. That arrow's sticking up just a little bit. Not that I'm anal or anything. Okay, there we go. Let's go back and see what we have next. Yay, we're almost done. It says, after completing the analysis and studying the sales transactions, prepare a report for Susan, 1 day. Grab my task block. I'll paste it in. What's my task name?
Prepare report.
Prepare report. That seems pretty obvious. So I'll go with that. Thank you very much. Start day.
23 or 24.
24. End day.
24.
24. Yep. It's only 1 day. So if we started on that day, we can end it on that day. Oh, we need task IDs for Analyze Bumblebee. And for study sales records. Oops. 5. And what comes after 5? 6. There we go. Task ID for our prepare report will be 7. We decided its duration was 1 day. And what kind of arrow do I need? Red. So I will copy. Oh. I will copy, not cut. There we go. We'll copy. We'll stick it over here. We'll paste it in. We'll put it there. Do I need another arrow? I do.
Yeah.
Yep, I do. Now that was a definitive yes. All right. We'll paste it in. And we have a pretty basic, there's our chart right there for that piece of homework. So there's a couple other things that we need here. We need to figure out the total project days. So total project days. And then we'll also need to define the critical path. I'm going to go ahead and bold those up. There we go. And I'll move this. And I think I will put some blocks around it. Make that look nice, right? So what's my total project days? 24. Yeah. Just take the last, the finished day is your project days. Yeah. I appreciate the courage to guess. Now, what's my critical path?
I think really amount of days.
It's 1, 2, 4,
It would be task 1 to task 2. Keep going, Chad. 4, 5, and 7. Now, of course, if in doing one of these, you just applied different task IDs, then I'm able to quickly go and look to make sure you have the highest duration task listed as your critical path, right? So there we go. We have the critical path. We have the total number of days. Let me just give you a couple things here. Number 1, arrows, good practice. Arrows should never cross, okay? As we get into doing some use casing and some case diagrams and some class diagrams, these can become really hard not to have arrows cross, okay? But we really try our best to make it as simple to read as possible. The critical path, okay, should always follow either a top path or a bottom path, okay? I've read the suggested is the critical path should always be on the top, okay? So someone should be able to quickly ascertain what the critical path is just by looking at each task that's on the top, even if there's tasks done sequentially. So what do you think? Good shape? Does this work? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast.